Today's passage is Matthew chapter 8, verses 5 to 22. It looks at two specific people and then a further group of unnamed individuals who Jesus healed, and then ends with a couple of brief but challenging conversations that Jesus had. Firstly, there was the Roman officer who came to Jesus, pleaded with him for his servant who was paralysed and in terrible pain. Jesus said he would come and heal him, but the response of the officer was, "Lord, I'm not worthy to have you come into my home. Just say the word from where you are, and my servant will be healed." Jesus was amazed by his faith and said that he hadn't seen faith like it in all of Israel. He told him to go back home and said, "Because you believed, it has happened," and the servant was healed. Then Jesus came into Peter's house, saw his mother-in-law who was sick, touched her hand, and she was healed. And then later that evening, he had many people brought to him who were demon-possessed and sick. He cast out all the spirits with a simple command and healed all the sick people. Then Matthew tells us about two very specific interactions that Jesus had with two individuals. Firstly, a teacher of the law said, "I will follow you wherever you go." Jesus replied, "Foxes have dens to live in, and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place even to lay his head." Another disciple said, "Lord, first let me return home to bury my father." Jesus said, "Follow me now, let the spiritually dead bury their own dead." So some quite strong words. So there's a lot going on in this passage. What do we take from it? Firstly, our God heals. He heals huge numbers of people and will continue to do so. Secondly, the circumstances in which God heals vary so much across the stories in this passage, but even more when you look across the accounts of Jesus and the early church's ministry in the Gospels and the Acts of the Apostles, as well as looking at other healings experienced by Christians since then. Jesus healed individuals without seeing them, and when seeing them face to face, through speech and through physical contact, when they come directly to him themselves or being brought by others, and when Jesus initiated the contact himself. And when you read through all the accounts in the Gospels, there's some very bizarre different circumstances that, things that Jesus gets people to do in the process of being healed as well. It's a complex subject area. Many Christians have stories of when they pray for themselves or others and been healed. But also many of us have experienced heartbreaking circumstances when someone we prayed for hasn't been healed. Often when we really believe that they would be. The most helpful information that I've come across on this subject area is the Pete Gregg book, God on Mute, which I definitely recommend reading. What do I take from all of this? Well, it's definitely God's heart to heal. Matthew 7 verse 7 says, "Keep on asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep on seeking and you will find. Keep on knocking and the door will be open to you." Philippians 4 verse 6 says, "Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank him for all he has done." So let's be the friends who bring our friends to God in prayer for healing. Let's be like the Centurion and ask him to say the word so they're healed. Sometimes persistence is needed. Jesus tells two stories in Luke's Gospel from firstly chapter 11 when a man knocks on his friend's door in the middle of the night asking for bread. His friend initially refuses, but because of the man's persistence, who just keeps knocking, he gives in and gives him the bread. Second example is chapter 18, where a widow eventually gets justice from a judge just because she keeps coming to him and keeps bothering him until eventually he agrees and he provides justice for her. The four friends of the paralytic who Jesus healed, they carried him to him, they brought him up onto the roof of a building, broke through the roof of the building, lowered him down. So a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of persistence, and Jesus healed him. So now if we go back to those two conversations Jesus had at the end of the passage, the immediate response is to feel that Jesus has been a bit harsh. But Jesus responds to the specific heart of each individual, just as he did with the rich young ruler in Mark chapter 10. He pinpoints the thing that's holding them back. holding them back from doing what they need to be doing, which is giving everything to God. Just as it says in the hymn, "When I survey the wondrous cross, love so amazing, so divine, demands my soul, my life, my all." And the wonderful thing is that God meets us where we're at. He pursues us and gives us chance after chance. It's another area where persistence is important, being honest with him where we are struggling, relying on his grace and continuing to give it all to him, pursuing relationship with him and allowing him to change us in those areas where we struggle.